everybody. Welcome to Tuesday. Hopefully you did a good job yesterday with the tables and graphs. Today we're going to look at word problems. So we're just going to read the word problem. We're going to annotate the word problem. And we also are going to find the rate of change. So let's do number one together. It says, a climber is on a hike. After 2 hours, he is in an altitude of 400 feet. After 6 hours, he is at an altitude of 700 feet. What is the average rate of change? So the first thing that I would do is try to find the two variables. Okay, so I'm going to look back through it again. A climber's on a hike. After that seems like a unit right there. Hours, he's at an altitude of 400 feet. And I have a unit right here again. What's feet measuring? It's measuring altitude in feet, right? And then I see it again. So I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, we're looking at hours and altitude in feet. So I would, if I were you, just insert a table, right? So what are we doing here? We're looking at hours and altitude. So if this is my X and this is my Y, this is my independent. So what's independent here? And Y is dependent, right? So what depends on what? Does the hours depend on the altitude, or does the altitude depend on the hours? I would say that the altitude depends on the hours, right? At a certain hour, I'm at a certain altitude. Just because it's the third hour in my hike doesn't automatically put me to a specific altitude. So my dependent is altitude in feet. My independent is hours. Okay, and then I'm going to just make a table, or you might be more comfortable with ordered pairs. Okay, so up here you were doing tables and you were doing graphs, right? And here we could count or we could pull ordered pairs off that graph. So we're doing the exact same thing. So at 2 hours, he was at what? 400 feet. At 6 hours, he was at what? 700 feet, right? So then we do what we've always been doing. We want to find the change in Y over the change in X. So trying to find this switching to the Google Doc is throwing me for a loop because I usually can write with my Jamboard. Okay, so the change in Y, we're going to look at 700, so Y2 minus Y1, and we're going to divide that by, I don't even know if I can insert. Well, that's not really what I wanted, but let's just pretend it is. So 700 minus 400, so that's the change in Y, and then I want to find the change in X. So since I started with 700, I have to start with 6. So 6 minus 2, and I'm going to simplify that. So what's 700 minus 400, guys? What does this become? This becomes 300. And what's 6 divided by 2? That's 4. Okay? So 300 divided by 4, I want to use my calculator because I really want to know what he's doing per hour. So 300 divided by 4 is 75. So I know that the rate of change is 75 feet per hour. Okay, and I got this unit by doing Y over X. Y divided by X. Y is feet. Hour is X. Remember, the Y depends on the X. Okay? Any questions? Just kidding. You can't ask questions. Hopefully you're pausing this and you're doing number one with us. And if you have questions, you can always email us or meet with us after school between that 2:05 and 3:05 hour. Okay, so go ahead and hopefully you've watched the whole video. Try to do the rest of the problems and reach out to us if you have any questions. Thanks, guys.